Hey, 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 Dr. Minesha here, affectionately known as Dr. M. Super excited to be able to welcome you to the lounge, Miss LaTonya Duncan. Thank you so much for joining us in the Peace Driven Leader Lounge. It's such a pleasure. All right. Welcome to the Peace Driven Leader Lounge. To all of you all who are listening for the very first time, Dr. M here. Always a pleasure to be able to connect with my leaders of leaders, people who are serious about real transformation. I have with me in the lounge today Miss LaTonya Duncan. Welcome so much. Thank you. What part of the world are you visiting us in?
Yeah, so I'm in St. Louis, Missouri, right smack dab in the
St.
Midwest.
Louis. Yes, born and raised. Yes.
Born and raised.
Oh, awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, for those of you all who are listening for the very first time, you're in for a treat. And the pretty cool thing about our podcast, although we do pre-record them, it feels live because we have no idea what we're going to say. I don't. LaTonya has no idea what I'm going to ask her.
Nope.
And it keeps it fun. It keeps it exciting. And so you get to listen in real time. And that is my belief that when we get out of our own way and don't lean to our own understanding, we allow the divine, the highest of high, to be able to get out of our bodies what needs to be said. So I can 1,000% assure you that your soul will be stirred and it will lean you in. If there's anything that we're talking about, anything that I say or that LaTonya says that's like, I don't know about that. Well, not technically, or anything you feel like you want to refute or rebuttal against, lean in there. That is the edge of growth leadership. That's your next evolved self. There's something there, and that's why it pricked you. And I think so many times we're so quick to like take that and like justify it and like clarify and
Right.
take our stance versus really leaning in and being curious and say, what was that ruffled that feather? What was that caused me not to be able to receive it? What was it
Mhm.
about that particular word that I wasn't able to receive? And use that
Right.
because this is going to be like a compass as we just flow through the conversation. You're going to see and hear
Yeah.
yourself in a lot of ways, whether you're listening as a man or a woman. There is more similarities, I feel, Tanya, than there are differences
Yes.
as a body. And as we realize that as a body of people, I feel like we'll live life with so much love and compassion, right? It just
Right.
keep things simple.
Yes.
So
Amen.
yeah. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Do your intro, anything that's
Yeah.
going to help us with some context behind who you are.
Yes. So thank you, Dr. M, for having me on here. I'm super excited. So, hello, everyone. I'm LaTonya Duncan. I am the CEO and founder of LaTonya Renee Consulting. And I'm the person that you come to when you are overwhelmed and tired with the back end grind of your business. So, that could look like you're putting out fires every day in your business. You are holding all of your business processes and the way that it functions in your head, like you have
Mhm.
nothing documented. Or that could just be you can't turn off,
Mm,
during the weekend or even during the day because you think you forgot something. I forgot to send that invoice or the follow up or I missed something. So that
mhm,
is what I actually support women
mm.
primarily with doing. So, I was in the corporate world for 24 years.
What?
And
Say?
yes, I know. I started when I was 8. I did.
What? Tell us that story because you clearly are not that young or old. So what industries did you work most with
Yeah,
or
so
in?
I was an early childhood teacher for 17
Ooh,
years.
awesome.
Yeah, working with the little kids,
Yeah.
prenatal all the way through, kindergarten. So
Wow.
I
Yeah.
did a
Well,
lot
I
of.
have a big background. My mom, she's been in
Yes.
childcare for 30,
Oh,
42 years now, actually.
oh,
And yeah, we were raised with when they had basements in Georgia, the
mhm.
childcare was on the bottom floor. So we would just come downstairs,
Yes.
or mom would have her in home, childcare. So we definitely grew up in that industry. So that's really awesome.
Oh, I love
That you're
that.
making an impression. And I read a post the other
Yes.
day we talked about if we just paid the teachers and the educators as much as we pay the politicians, we may have better laws in place. I thought that was funny.
Yes.
Yeah. I have an
1000%
actor
agree.
in mind. I can't remember. I don't want to misquote him, but of who said that. But I thought that was really powerful because I've always felt that
It is.
way. It takes a
Yes,
special person to really impart in the lives of young kids, for sure.
it really
So let's
does.
talk
Yeah.
about
Mhm.
just your dynamic. Are you a mom? Are you married? Tell us a little bit more.
Yeah, so I actually just got married in May, so
Okay,
I've been married less than a year.
awesome, newlywed. Cool.
Yes, so I have
Where did you meet?
oh gosh, we actually met on Match.com.
I
So
knew
we
you
are
were gonna
a
say that. I
match.
knew you were gonna say that. That's like the thing now. That's
Yes.
cool though.
Yeah, it really
Yeah.
is. We're a Match.com, a success story. So,
Yeah. Yeah. And I
yeah.
I actually hear Match.com a lot as
Yeah.
the to married couples. Yes, their system must be pretty good,
I
as
think it's
far
pretty good.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's good stuff. And now you have children
Yeah.
together?
We don't. So I have a 22-year-old bonus son.
Wow.
Yes. So I bypassed all
Awesome.
of the good stuff, the potty training
Yes.
and all that.
Right, right. The stuff you look forward to, the stuff I'm going through right now with my
Oh,
3-year-old. Yeah, they like, he
yes.
literally peed right before the toilet. I'm like, after he supposedly sat there and was done, and then he gets off and does, I'm like, "No, this is not how this works. We've been through this. We sung the songs. Get
We
back
sung
on."
the song.
So, I love when you were talking
Yes.
about getting in that cycle to where you think you're forgetting something. I know
Yes.
what that's like. It's very
Mhm.
taunting, and, I know a lot of people and leaders can relate to that, especially, like, I
Yes.
remember when I got into my graduate level classes and I finished, and then I graduated. You're so used to working on your dissertation. You're so used to working on
Yes.
going to classes. It's like when you finish, it's like, "Oh my gosh, what am I supposed to be doing something? Did I miss something?" And
Right.
it's this anxiety,
Yeah.
really. So
It
when I
really is.
think about your work, am I right to understand that your superpower is to bring ease, and relief
Mm. Yes.
and, yeah, and
Yes.
peace,
So
really.
definitely I like to call it the chaos to the clarity, or even the chaos to the
Mhm.
calm. So if you're
Yeah,
chaotic kind of behind the scenes and things are breaking and you just don't know where to
mhm,
start, things are all over the place or not organized, I like to take that
mhm,
type of chaos and bring
yeah,
calm. And it
yeah.
actually used to call me the chaos coordinator. So I think I'm going to
Ooh, I
bring
love
that back.
that. I love that. So, one thing I know that takes a lot of vulnerability
It
for
does.
someone to open up and share with you what's happening in
Yes.
their private life. So, how do you create that safety for them to be able to say, come behind my closet, come behind this, let me show you," what do you think that is that you do to create that?
Yeah, so I try to be very empathetic. I lead my business with empathy first and
Yeah.
foremost. So I always say, this is a no judgment zone.
Mhm.
I call them messy rooms. I have messy rooms. I have messy behind the scenes some days are messier than others as well. I
Yeah.
can relate and I can empathize that I know what
Yeah.
it feels like to be constantly, running in circles or just not being able to relax because you're always, thinking you're forgetting something.
Yeah.
So that's how I lead my
I love
business,
that.
and that's how I just lead in general, just with empathy.
Yeah. So where do you start? Like, when a
Mm.
person has got all that going on, it's like, where do you even begin, you know? I know I actually have this weird thing where I enjoy cleaning up. I'm learning about the cooking. I'm not as really, enthused about that part, but I'll clean. And I clean fast. And I first thing I do, I take everything, I put it in the middle of the room so I can see
Mhm.
it. Put it in the room, and I have this system in my brain that I do to move fast.
Yeah.
What is your process that
Mm.
allows people to be able to see results? For me, it's because I need to see visual
Mhm.
results. I see somebody clean up and it just looks like, "You've been in here for 2 hours and it look like it's more messier than what we started." Like, I can't I have to have that. Like, I need the floor, I need the beds, And so
Yeah.
what is your
Mm.
process?
Yeah, so that's actually one of my processes is
Yeah.
for them to come to me and I ask them specific questions. What's feeling messy in your business right now? What are your goals for the next 90 days? So let's kind of think like pull out 360 and see the bigger
Yeah.
picture. And
Mhm.
I really lean into them just telling me and just kind of brain dumping on me, okay,
Yeah.
what's feeling messy, what's heavy, where do we start first? And
Yeah.
once they kind of get that out, then I think they can kind of relax and they're like, "Oh, all right, I got
Mm.
everything out." Okay, that
Yeah.
was your job to get everything out. Now, my job is to go through all of that with you and sit here with you and say, okay, this is where we need to start. This is
Yeah.
where the things that need to be put out first before you can
Mhm.
even think about
So do
growing your
you when you
business.
think about where's the bleeding, is it different for
Yes,
each of your clients?
it's
Like,
absolutely different for every
mm,
client. Yeah,
so what
what's
is it
important to
keeping
one client
for?
is not important to
What is
another.
connected to the revenue? What is connected to their, like, their emotional, like, this is, like, heavy or important to them? Like, how do you
Yeah.
know what's bleeding the most?
Yeah, so it's really from talking to them and just having that conversation. Really, the top three things are energy. So your energy leaks, your
Mhm,
time leak, what's taking up
mhm.
most of your time,
Damn it.
and then your revenue. Those are the
Mm,
top three things that I'm really listening for as I'm
mm.
talking and having conversations with my clients.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll say this, and this is why, for everybody who listens, if this is your first time listening, please download the iLead We Rise app. It is filled with professionals who can get you real support. And we vet our people. Like the people that come in the lounge, they are sharp. They are people's people, even over profits. They want results and they do it in a way that's loving and empathetic. Like you said, I love that. That's something, a leadership trait that we talk about often here in the Peace Driven Leader Lounge. And one of the things that I think people don't talk about enough when it comes to the systems and the work that you do,
Mhm.
that I find to be very valuable, is the m the money, like, can you say getting clear that the
Yes.
leaks. We talk about
Mhm.
energy leaks, but the
Right.
money leak. I
Yes.
remember prior to my team and prior to, and these are for people too, let me just say this because we have people who are working corporate who also are entrepreneurs part-time, and we have people who are listening who are corporate leaders who have not started their business or don't even know the idea of what that looks like. I want you to listen with a different lens because this is something that we want to offer to corporate leaders. And so we want to be able to give you access to professionals that can do what LaTonya does, even in your personal life, because
Right.
it is necessary, right?
Yes.
Even because
Absolutely.
your business, you really, if you run your last name like it is a business, I said we just shift from business to brand of our
Right.
last name, then essentially your work and your life matters and all that stuff
Right.
needs a system and organized,
Absolutely.
and I know even for me, man, you get these letters in the mail or you get this, have a system in place and it's like, oh, the $85 fee, or dang, I didn't even
Yep.
see this yet. It was only $25. Now it went up to $150 because just
Right.
some people didn't respond or you didn't see it. Or, and that can go on and on of the different things. Notice how
Yeah.
specific these things are.
Yes. Yes, they're very
I can
specific,
connect
absolutely.
how little they are. That happens when you do not have a system and you don't have that professional support. And especially if you're listening and you're a woman who has or a male who has a lot of things happening. Wear a
Yeah.
lot of hats. A lot of
Mhm.
people, whether you're in the ministry, high performing at work, you have all these different environments that people are expecting you to live and lead within. It's not
Mm,
wise for you not to have professional support so that somebody
right.
always has a pulse on
Yes.
what you're doing so that you can do it in the most streamlined, effective, and efficient way, and use that
Yes.
energy to pour back into you, you know?
Right.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's a cool
Yeah.
thing to do. Extra energy, right? To give it back to
Yes.
yourself,
Yeah,
and
and
what
your
I
clients as well.
yeah, and your
Yeah,
clients. I call it relational capacity. Because
absolutely.
that's
Mm,
what it is, right? Your connection with your clients, your connection with your children, your
right.
spouse, it's all relational. And I believe that that's what's taking the strongest hit when we don't have things, when we don't have the same
Yes.
systems in place. It's
Absolutely.
the relationships. And the thing that really is unfortunate about that, LaTonya, is that that's where the true gold mine is.
It is.
You know what I mean?
It really
It's
is. It
in the loved
mhm,
ones. It's in
it
the
is.
client.
Mm,
It's in the relationships. I call it relationship
yes.
currency. So I
Yes.
don't think people really realize how much they lose,
Yeah.
financially.
I don't think they do
Yeah,
realize that, how much
yeah,
they really, really lose, especially solopreneurs,
yeah,
people
for
who are
sure.
just they
Mhm.
are wearing all the hats, and it's
Yeah,
like,
'cause
how can you
they're facing their
maximize?
skills like, "I can't afford to."
Right, but you can't not afford to. Yeah,
Yeah, Yeah, for sure. This is
Yeah.
good. So talk to
Yeah.
me a little bit about how you got into this work. Were you like an 8-year-old just going around cleaning up stuff and organizing what are like what were the signs? What were the signs?
Oh gosh. So I'm an only child.
Really?
I
Wow.
am. So I think I've always been the kind of person who's been going around, I'm not gonna say hurting people, but getting everybody together. Like I was
Yeah.
the event planner, the birthday party planner,
Ah,
always having things organized, and my Barbie
yeah.
dolls were organized. It drove my mother crazy. I know it did.
The Barbie dolls organized.
I
Dang.
had everything organized. And so
I
I think
love
that's just a part of who I am.
Love it so
Mm,
much. And for
Yeah.
those who are listening who are thinking about a business to get in, or you're determining whether the business you're in is for you, maybe you feel like it's phasing out and you can't really put your finger on what it is. I'm telling you, those things that you did that you loved when you were younger, those are
Mhm.
the greatest clues.
Yes.
Like you should be doing that. That's what brought you joy. That's what your divine
Yes.
identity was already drawing to without you even being conscious of it. Like lean
Mhm.
into that. Find out ways where you
Yes.
can incorporate and integrate those things, you
Right.
know?
Yeah.
That's cool that you were able
Absolutely.
to see
Yeah.
that, you know? And even, like,
Yes.
seeing it a little bit different, like, you were doing parties and event planning into
Mhm.
OBM, like, that's cool
Right.
that you were able to make that shift, but it is
Yes.
the same thing. You really think about it, it's like,
It
yeah,
it
you
really
know?
is. It's a
Yeah.
fun thing, and as I got older, I went into teaching, so, of course, there was always that organization piece and
Yep,
lesson
you definitely have
planning
to
and
have that, especially with children,
exact
you gotta have system. That's I can
especially.
see that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
that's
especially with
cool.
adults. I'm gonna put it out
Yeah,
there
that's
too
true.
with the parents, because sometimes you had to rail them into
Yeah, you're talking real good now. So tell me some of the, things that you've seen, doing the type of
Mhm,
work and organizing that you've noticed that has come from people not having the systems in place, just as you're getting in there, some of the
mm.
casualties
Oh, the
that you
casualties.
see.
Oh
Yeah.
gosh, the casualties. So,
Real life stories of things that you've experienced with your clients.
yeah, so I experienced, a lot. I began this work in my corporate job. I was part of,
Yeah.
a home visiting agency. I
Mm.
supported 200 programs over 8 states.
Wow.
And this was, of course, after I left teaching.
Yeah.
Then I did to a parent education program, so trying to flip the script a little
Yeah.
bit. And that's where I really noticed that if you didn't have a system, things would
Mhm.
go haywire quickly. So if you
Mm.
didn't have a system for just hiring, I've seen a few clients that I worked with, they didn't have a system for hiring. So they were constantly firing
Turnover.
and
Yeah.
rehiring.
Yeah,
So
and it's
they were,
so expensive to do that.
and it's so expensive because you've
Yeah,
onboarded them, you've trained them, and now all
yeah,
of a sudden they're gone. You have to fire them
yeah,
because they didn't do something that you asked them to do,
yeah.
or, and as I,
My whole motto is slow to hire, quick to fire.
yes,
If you take your time on the front end,
yes.
you don't have to deal with all of that. Yeah,
You
for
don't
sure.
have to deal with all of that
Yeah.
stuff. And that's one of the
Mhm.
biggest casualties that I see, that
Mm.
people think that it's my team problem. It's my team
Yeah,
problem.
yeah.
And I'm like, not necessarily your
Other
team
people are
problem. It's because you don't have processes in place to train them on. So
that's
you're
right.
doing it one way, they're doing it their way,
Yeah,
and now it's
yeah.
wrong.
Yeah. Well, let me
Mhm.
ask you this because I've always thought that systems, I'm a little system geek myself, by the way,
Okay.
but I've always thought that
Yes.
systems were like that pair of shoes. Like it can't be a one size fit all because the system is only
Yes.
as good as you use it. Right.
Right.
And so, like, understanding the person's personality and
Yes.
what software, what process will really realistically work for their personality type.
Right.
How do you go about determining that?
Really, I lean on them on
Okay.
that. And it's also relational as well. I go back to that relational piece after kind of
Mhm.
learning about them and watching how they operate in their business. So for me, systems can mean, the techie stuff, the go high
Yeah,
level, the honey book, things like that. But systems
mhm,
can also mean how you walk through your business every day, what you do day to day. What do
your
you
mail,
do?
you
Yeah.
open your mail, that's a whole 'nother thing,
Yeah. It's
you
a
know?
whole nother thing. So just kind
Mm,
of looking at how they operate through their day day to day and what's
Mhm,
important to them. And then I can actually see either recommend
mhm.
the systems if they don't have one, or we can look at the system they have to see is it the right fit or is it do it just kind of tweak some things.
Yeah, okay. So it
Yeah.
really sounds like almost like a doctor doing an evaluation on a
Yeah,
client and like a
absolutely.
physical and just kinda seeing where they are, what they have, what needs to be tweaked, what needs to be replaced, what's
Yes.
that whole thing. That's pretty cool. So a lot of
Yeah.
observing, a lot of questions,
Yes.
answering, reflecting, and
Yeah.
just getting, like you said, getting that clarity. I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love to say I call myself more of a partner.
Yeah, I love
Um,
that. I can tell that. I sense
yeah.
that, yeah, and how you're working together, co-collaborative experience.
Yes.
Yeah. So how often do you tend to when you're meeting with your clients, is it something that you meet with them once a week or, like a lot in the beginning and then you check in with them once a month? Like what does that look like?
Yeah, it's
Like,
more
work?
of a once a week type of thing.
Okay.
We kind of check in, see where everything's going. I do give them homework assignments, things that they can
Mm,
do in between the time that we meet. And we really just kind of make a checklist every time we meet. Okay, this has happened, these tasks, we go down the list and it's like, okay, these are done. Now let's move on to the next phase. What's the next
mhm,
goal that we have to prepare for? So I
mhm.
really like to co create with them. That
Yeah,
way they know that, and they can be empowered. They know how to do it
absolutely.
and they're
Yeah,
empowered to do it. So when they do
yeah.
hire a team, then they're not, I can do this, but now I just need you to take it over.
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
love that so much, LaTonya. And I highly advise that for all leaders who are listening is that you definitely want a season where you're doing it first and
Yes.
preferably manually because
Yes.
it's something about that. When you do it yourself and you lead from that point, then it, even
Yeah.
for the nervous system, like I'm not hiring anybody that's doing something that I just absolutely
Mhm.
if you were to leave, I just wouldn't be able to survive. Like, I need to know enough about it so I can have an intelligent conversation, even if that means to hire a professional in that space. I need to know
Right.
because it makes you vulnerable. It
It
does, and it
does.
does. Yeah, for sure.
It
But I love the way
does.
you did that, preparing them so that they can be in position for a team.
Yes,
'Cause I
absolutely.
I believe that's what the 21st century needs. They need
It really
professional help.
is.
Not just
Yes.
therapy.
Right.
We need that too. We need that. I'm a big
We need that
advocate of
too.
therapy. Right, but we need a professional team. We
Yeah.
cannot keep being a one woman and a one man show. It's not
Yeah.
good for our health, our nervous system.
It's not.
The way we live and experience life is not fair to
Right.
ourselves,
Yeah.
you
And it's not good
know?
for business either. That's how you burn
Right.
yourself out really quickly, and then you won't have a business.
That's right. Yeah, that's true. I love the work you do. I appreciate you so very much.
Yes.
Now,
Thank
if you were to
you.
leave something with the audience today, anything that comes to mind that you feel like they can take with them, and hold with them and move into inspired action, what would that be?
Ooh, this is a great question. So I always think about what would I tell my 20-year-old self,
Mhm,
especially. So I'm gonna leave this with the audience that you have to move slow to move fast. And I'm gonna
mm,
explain what that means. If you're thinking about being an entrepreneur, you have to reflect. You have to do the inner work. And that's something that I didn't do when
mm,
I first started my business 3 years
yeah,
ago. And so I call that, go slow to go fast. So when you do
yeah,
that inner work, when you have that mindset, because this is a different type of mindset, being an
oh, yeah,
entrepreneur,
for sure,
and you
yeah,
have to surround yourselves with community and a village and people who are going to support you and love on you and nurture you and your business.
mhm,
So I would have to say that you have to
I
move
love
slow
that.
to move
Move slow to
fast.
move fast. You heard it
Yes.
here. LaTonya, it's such a pleasure. I
Yes.
thank you so very much for enlightening
Thank
us
you.
with your wisdom, your
Mm,
support, helping us to see the value that you bring to
mm.
society.
Thank
It's so
you.
beautiful the way in
Thank
which
you.
you
Mm,
lead and give, because it's a service at the end of the day. It's
it
servant
is.
leadership, and I can sense that and feel that. So I am thankful that our paths connected, and I pray that those who are
Yes.
listening are really able to grab the message today and that was left, and know that there is help
There is.
out here. You don't
Yes.
have to do it yourself. There is professional help. And
Yes.
so, if nothing else, lean into that so that you can relieve yourself. Because
Yes.
there's no badge, there's no reward
No,
for the person who worked their butt off the hardest.
there's
You
not.
know, there's not.
No.
The only thing that's at the end of that road is sickness and heartache, and you
Yes.
deserve so much better than that. So, with
Absolutely.
that being said,
Mhm.
remember it's not about how much you carry; it's about how well you carry it. And
Yes.
here at Peace Driven Leader, it's not something you find, it's something you create. And this now, today is your moment to create it. Until the next
Yes.
episode,
Mm.
bye bye for now.